Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Tower Talk. I've got patch notes for us to talk about. We've got the latest TWAB to talk about, and then I've got some notes that I jotted down for things that I wanted to talk about. So, without further ado, let's dive into those hotfix patch notes. This is Destiny 2 hotfix 3003. Let's see. Combat weapons fixed an issue where the Coriolis Force fusion rifle was getting more ammo than intended from ammo bricks. Womp womp. Pour one out for that one. Uh, Great news. Fixed an issue where the Witherhoard damage debuff wasn't being removed properly. Witherhoard has now been re-enabled. Yes, my friends, she's back. That destructive little beauty is back. So equip your Witherhoards and fire away. Um, let's see. In the abilities column for stasis, exploits with the Warlock Shadebinder Super have been fixed. Pour one out for the Super Melt. Basically, there's been a turbo nerf to the Warlock Shadebinder subclass. No one's surprised. I do think in a few areas they may have taken it a little far. I'm going to sort of sum this up, but the TLDR is that the Warlock Shadebinder has been nerfed. Exactly what they changed, like they said, they fixed the exploit with the Shadebinder Super. No biggie there. A good thing that happened is that the damage from breaking out, the stasis breakout, has been reduced, which is good. And there's some details about exactly what they did if you want to check out the notes for yourself. They also made it so that higher resilience is more valuable to reducing that damage effect from stasis. The Warlock Stasis Melee has had its projectile speed reduced. The Warlock Stasis Melee has had its range reduced. The Warlock Stasis Super has had its duration reduced. The Warlock Super light attack cost was reduced, which is actually a plus. And the Cold Snap Seeker, the little tracking ice thing, has had its speed reduced. And none of those reductions are small amounts. Like I said, you can stop by the TWAB and check out the exact values, but that's the breakdown of what they touched on that. Against Guardians, so this is PvP specific, Cold Snap freeze duration has been lowered. Was 4.75 seconds, now 1.35 seconds. So you have exactly 1/4 of what you had before. And that same value was applied to all these other ones I'm going to read. The Ice Flare Bolt freeze duration lowered, same values. Stasis Warlock Melee, the Penumbral Blast, freeze duration was lowered, same values. And then this is an interesting one. Warlock Stasis Super no longer affects players who are not encased. Not 100% sure what that means. I'm going to have to figure that out. But anyway, there you go. If that means something to you, there you go. Moving on to gameplay and investment. Fixed an issue where pinnacle rewards were not dropping at the correct power. Thank you. Fixed an issue where several repeatable bounties were providing more XP than intended. Pour one out. It was fun while it lasted. Activities fixed an issue on Exodus Crash where the spider tank wasn't spawning. Exodus Crash has been re-enabled. Yay. I didn't get my wish. That's what, the second time Exodus Crash has been broken and removed. And for the second time, they've put it back in the game even though nobody wants it. All right. Moving on, fixed an issue that was causing arugula errors. Cool. And fixed an issue where fragment pursuits were purchasable with a full inventory. So that's actually kind of cool because you're not wasting your currency and not getting the quests. So that's all good. That's the rundown of the hot fix. So now we're going to move on to the TWAB. Reminder to everybody that not only has Season of the Hunt begun, but this Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, that is November 21st, this Saturday, the Deep Stone Crypt raid will become available. Yes, friends, it is world's first time. And do remember that there is going to be a verification period for world's first. So once a raid team has finished, Bungie will announce that the activity has been completed, and then after that, there's going to be a period where Bungie's teams are going to start looking at data to verify that the completion was legit. So they're hoping that it won't take too long to make the announcement, but they also want to make sure that they do a proper verification of the world's first run. Their goal is to have a congratulations, their goal is to have a post congratulating the winning team by Monday, November 23rd. So we're going to see somebody finish first, but it will not be certified at that time. It should be certified by Monday, November 23rd. And I don't know about you all, but I am going to be tuning into that world's first race. I had hoped that the clan would be able to get together for world's first, but it does not look like that's going to happen. We are short a couple players. It's just not going to happen this time. It's too bad. But that's okay. That's okay. We're still going to have fun watching. I'm going to do kind of like an at-home world's first tailgate party and just kind of have fun watching. I'm gonna put it on my TV out in the living room. I'm gonna open up the Twitch app on my TV and watch it out in the living room and have like nachos and layer dip and beers and fun stuff like that. So it'll be cool. I may not be playing in it, but I will be watching. I will be watching my favorite people make the attempt. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Just a reminder about contest mode for the Deepstone Crypt for those of you that were wondering. Contest mode will cap all players at 20 power below each encounter. This lasts for 24 hours. Artifact power will be disabled during contest mode. Your team's power cap goal is 1230 for all encounters. Being above 1230 will not provide any additional advantage. Okay, so that's the rundown on how that's going to work. Let's see. And there's going to be some loot associated with the raid, which is something that usually happens. There is the world's first raid title belt. I know they hate calling it a belt, but that's what it is. It's a belt. So there it is. World's first will indeed get that. There is a day one raid emblem that looks pretty sweet, by the way. There is the cool raid jacket. I love that they went with a winter parka to stick with the snowy Europa theme, and I dig the vest that's like part of the jacket, the liner vest that you can wear standalone in warmer weather. That's pretty cool. Let's see. This section I found really, really, really interesting, and I liked to hear it. They went on to talk about some things the security team has been working on as far as anti-cheat, and they're going to be rolling out a new security measure for newly created accounts on PC specifically, and they're hoping that it's going to be an effective deterrent. They're going to be doing SMS verification, and so what that means is it's an account validation step for all free-to-play players who want to access their high-stakes PvP modes. Free-to-play accounts on PC only will need to link and verify a cell phone number to their accounts via Bungie.net before they will be able to access those activities. Which activities are high stakes? So that's going to be trials, that's going to be Iron Banner, and competitive PvP, for example. There's probably going to be some other stuff too, but those are the ones that they called out in particular. And as that feature rolls out, they're going to be looking at other ways that they can grow that verification and potentially expanding it to other activities. So I would think that what the idea on this is because you have to provide a cell phone number and you can't just be rapidly changing your cell phone number, it's going to stop the multi-account creation, free account scumming that's been going on. So I think that's great. And it's, if you're legit, it's an easy step. Don't complain about it. Just do it. It's very simple. Um, and they're saying, why are we doing this? Unscrupulous players suck, is the gist of it. And they want to keep implementing systems to help verify accounts, to make sure that people are honoring the code of conduct and the terms of service. So that's really cool. And they're saying if you're a free to play Destiny 2 PC player, you'll receive a notice in game the first time you try to access any of those protected activities. You'll get a verify now link to take you to Bungie.net and process that SMS linking. And I mean, I think most of us are used to how that system works with two-factor authentication and stuff. So it'll be really simple. I'm not going to read their step-by-step breakdown. But anyway, looks really, really, really easy. Once this feature is live, free-to-play PC players will see an image in-game, which will walk them through the sign-up process. Easy peasy. And of course, for any announcements regarding this, follow Bungie Help. And they also said they're going to release some more help articles over the next week to give full details on the feature if you're curious. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a game to give fundraising campaign coming up that looks really good. So Bungie Foundation is getting ready for their second annual Game to Give charity event in support of the Bungie Foundation and Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Great organization. My company works with them all the time, and it's really awesome, and it benefits sick kids all over the country. And Bungie is inviting the community to join them in celebrating what we can all accomplish together through games and giving. So starting today, they're inviting all community members to sign up to host their own Destiny 2 fundraising stream between December 1st and December 13th. There's going to be a bunch of prizes for everybody at various milestones. And then let's see, they're going to be starting it on what they're calling Giving Tuesday, which is December 1st. It's starting at 10 a.m., and they'll be kicking off a 24-hour streaming marathon with a bunch of different influencers from all different channels, including Twitch, gaming. There'll be featured live streams happening throughout the entire 2 weeks of the campaign. So you can follow at Bungie Love on Twitter to get information about that as well. They're going to have a bunch of cool prizes to thank donors for their contributions. Let's see. $25 donation, you'll get the Mist Blossom emblem and the Gilded Shell Exotic Ghost Shell. I really like that shell. I see people with it all the time, and it makes me feel good because I know they contributed to a good cause. And besides, it's pretty cool looking. $50 donation will get you those items plus the new Light Keepers emblem, which looks pretty sweet. It's sort of like, when you make a bonfire and there's just a stream of like embers going up into the sky, it kind of looks like that. It's really cool. A $100 donation will earn you all of those items and will enter you to win an item from the Bungie prize pool. Prizes include GameStop/EB Games gift cards. That's in the US and Canada only. Destiny 2 Beyond Light Digital Deluxe Editions and Destiny 2 Beyond Light Physical Deluxe Editions, which is kind of cool. I'm down with that. And let's see, they have also partnered with the online fundraising platform Omaze. Those guys are great too. I know about them a little bit. You'll be able to enter for a chance to win $20,000 to create the ultimate gaming rig and support the fundraising initiative at the same time, which is really cool. That's nice. And there's going to be more details on that coming up closer to the campaign's launch. Let's see. Now, this is the part where they go on to talk about the hot fix, which we pretty much covered already. I'm just going to make sure that there isn't anything in here that we didn't cover. Nope, that's all the same thing. That's all the same thing, so we're good there. Then there's another section here that I liked. They went on to talk about what's going on with loot, and they've been going through our feedback, listening to what feels good, what needs work, and just in general, like, how are we feeling? And they wanted to address the feedback concerning loot, concerning our concerns about loot, and the short-term plans that the team is working on to fix some of that. So they said they've been tracking our feedback about loot, particularly weapons, and they remind us that infusion caps are intended to keep Destiny 2 evolving. We know that. But they agree that there's currently not enough variety in the world loot weapons available to players this season. Right? I mean, that's abundantly clear. A lot of stuff went out, and not a lot came back in. So they said to that end, they're adding back in a selection of weapons to help alleviate the issue. And they're going to be watching to see how things change with the addition of weapons from Season 12 and this week's raid launch. So they're going to help alleviate some stuff, and they're going to look at how it interacts with some of the stuff that's becoming available as we go here. They said also that they agree that getting near cap weapons from random world drops is frustrating. Thus, we are removing those from the pool and weighting drops more heavily toward newer weapons. Yes, thank you, please. The old weapons really should not be there. I'm not sure why. Well, I do understand, like, near cap weapons. I think they're probably referring to weapons that are viable but will sunset after this season. So things that are capped at 1260 is my guess. Okay, so they're going to reduce the weighting of the 1260s and increase the weighting of the things that are above it. Simple as that. Here's a list of adjustments to the World Loot Legendary Weapons pool you'll see with our November 24th hotfix. So this is not going to be live right away. This is the November 24th hotfix, okay? Remove all legendary weapons that hit their infusion cap at the end of the season. Okay, so I was right. The 1260 cap weapons are not going to be part of the world pool anymore. Thank you, Bungie. All of the 7th Seraph weapons from Season 10. Add all of the 7th Seraph weapons from Season 10. Now, this is what I'm trying to figure. That's got to mean that the 7th Seraph weapons are getting their caps updated. Because otherwise, there would be absolutely no point at all. Add all of the Season 11 seasonal and planetary reprisal weapons. So they're gonna put in Cold Denial, the new Gnawing Hunger, Falling Guillotine. And I know in particular, I got a friend who couldn't really play, so him getting a shot at those Season 11 weapons is going to be a big deal. That's great. And then weight drop chances. So the newer an item is, the more likely it is to drop, right? So the further a weapon is from hitting its cap, the more likely you are to get it from this pool. I think that's good. This is a very, very, very good compromise. I'm curious to get some of these 7th Seraph weapons to drop to confirm what I'm thinking. But maybe I'm wrong about that, because theoretically a 7th Seraph weapon would be good for 10, 11, 12, and then Season 13. Right? Yeah, because it's from Season 10, 11, 12, 13 would be its 4th season. But that doesn't make sense because we're in Season 12 right now. So I don't know. We'll have to see. If they have updated iconography, we'll know. So I thought that was nice. Now, let's see. Talking about the hotfix stuff again. Oh, yeah. Some folks are having trouble with the Season of the Hunt activities and story content. They can't access it. Please remember that in order to access the season intro mission and get started, you need to make sure that you've completed Forsaken and the Shadowkeep story. And if you're a brand new Guardian, you need to make sure that you have finished A Guardian Rises. Okay, so Guardian Rises if you're brand new, plus you need to have finished Forsaken and Shadowkeep. It says you need to have completed the initial Forsaken and Shadowkeep story missions. And you need to finish A Guardian Rises. Okay? It also says you should make sure you have space in your quest inventory prior to interacting with Spider or the Crow, because that can mess with you acquiring your seasonal quests. Let's see. There's also an issue causing players who acquired the seasonal artifact before completing the full New Light Tower intro to be blocked from progressing in the Season of the Hunt story and missions. New Light players need to make sure they complete the full tower introduction prior to picking up the seasonal artifact from Zavala's office. Okay, very important. And they're still looking at reports of veteran players encountering the issue. So they said, if you've been impacted and you're not a New Light player, please report it on the help forum. Okay. Let's see. Another reminder again that PC migration from BattleNet to Steam is ending soon. So before December 1st, you need to migrate your Destiny account from Blizzard's BattleNet to Steam. If you don't do it, you're going to lose your Guardian and all your stuff. That would be bad. Moving on to known issues. There was some great stuff in here. I looked at this just a little while ago and I got really excited about one thing in particular. So check this out. It's the first item and I flipped the F out about this one because it's been really bothering me. It has been ruining my experience a little bit and I really couldn't understand it. I said so on Twitter. But, I've been learning to deal. I've been having a great time with the game otherwise. Okay, but here it is. We've identified an issue where the Vanguard Strike playlist difficulty was unintentionally set to 1100 power. We are developing a fix to reduce the recommended power of Vanguard Strike's playlist to 1050. It was never supposed to be 1100. It was a mistake. Because that dude, I told you one day for a good half hour, I was pissed. That is my favorite spot to play, and I couldn't enjoy it in my old stuff. That's the one place where I'd like to be able to just let my proverbial hair down, okay, and just use what I want and blast away. That's the whole point. And it was I couldn't understand it. Because I was like, why do Gambit and the Crucible get to be exempt from Sunset? And Strikes, we get the Shaft and Strikes. That was supposed to be Sunset exempt too. Or I don't know, maybe we just launch them from the map and that's it. It just didn't seem right to me at all. Didn't seem right to me at all. So turns out it was a mistake. Either that or they don't want to admit that they made a mistake with it and they're calling it a mistake. Either way, it's getting fixed. Strike's playlists will be going back to 1050. But not the ordeal. The ordeal, I believe, is going to stay right where it is, although I would prefer... I'm just going to put this out there, Bungie. I would prefer that the adept level of the ordeal was 1050 because, again, adept all last year was 750, which was the power floor. Adept should be at the power floor. But I'm not going to complain about this too loud because honestly, the Strikes playlist getting fixed and put back to 1050 is a huge deal for me. Huge deal for me. And I hope it is for a lot of the rest of you too, because that was a major bummer. Even though I was still enjoying everything, it really sucked. I used my mountaintop yesterday just because I was doing something, it didn't matter, and I wanted to use it. And it's okay, it was the only sunset thing that I put on, and I was still plenty powerful, but it hurts the damage output so much that it just, wasn't fun. And it really made me sad. And I was like, oh no, all this thing's going to be is a trophy. And then I get this great news today. So Anyway, hope it's the same story for a lot of you guys. Um, let's see. There's a problem with the translation of the Exo Strangers Weekly Challenge in languages other than English. You can look at the TWAB to find out exactly what's going on with that. The sparrow thing on Europa is not a feature. Those are people's actual sparrows that are not despawning like they're supposed to, which might explain the couple of guitar errors that I've gotten on Europa. Too many objects in the world, right? Let's see. Lift tubes in the Warden of Nothing strike can close before all fire team members are successfully through. Yes, I have experienced this 2 or 3 times, and it's not like it used to be, like that if you were kind of slow, you'd get cut off. But like the other day, 2 different times, the guy, I was right behind the other guy, and he went up, and I went in the lift right after him, and it closed. And not only does it close, but like it glitches in a very weird way, and like you die. It's really strange. So anyway, um, the Warsat heroic public event in the moth yards of the Cosmodrome doesn't count completions for objectives. Keep that in mind. That one won't help you. Let's see. Braytech Braytech RWP Mark II no longer appears as owned in collections for some players, so watch out for that. High value target reward chests are not granting the proper amount of glimmer. Oops. Let's see. A couple cosmetic things. Adored cannot be reacquired from collections. That's another one. Be careful of that. They are looking at the PlayStation's friends list, missing large amounts of online friends. So no, that's on the list for you. Later Crucible rounds may display an inaccurate round timer. There's some clipping issues with the Vest of the Great Hunt. The Titan Shiver Strike and Glacial Quake melee have an inconsistent hit registration. Yes, I noticed that when somebody was using it. So they weren't crazy. It is not working quite right. And survival players may not enter into overtime when both teams have an equal amount of lives remaining. Weird. PlayStation remote play controls may no longer function for some players. Mida Mini Tool and Drang cannot accept ornaments for their Baroque versions. They're supposed to, and they can't. No issue. The Fallen Empire and Stasis Fragment quests can be purchased even with a full inventory. Be careful of that because you're wasting your money. They did note the arugula errors for players competing in Beyond Light, but it looks like that got solved today in the patch notes, if I remember that right. In the Insight Terminus Strike, Kargan will continuously perform ground slams and not allow players to progress past the conflux space. So know that if that happens, you need to back out. Simple. Combat drill bounties say they require clash kills, but actually require kills and elimination. Players may be directed to reacquire the seasonal artifact from Zavala's office, even when they already have it in their inventories. Careful of that one. Garden of Salvation and Crown of Sorrow Warlock armor sets are not visible in collections. Watch that, because you can't get her back. And then the unsecured Outcry ship has the rocket engine effects floating behind the ship model, so that will be fixed eventually. There is a full detailed list elsewhere on Bungie.net. Know that you can find that. So that's it for the patch notes and the TWAB. Let me grab my own notes here. 1 second. Grab my own stuff here. Okay. So, like I said, Season of the Hunt has started. Man, I thought that intro quest was so cool, and I loved that they put it. What's that part of the moon? Like the observatory space in there, because I always remember going down that hallway, and that whole thing creeped me out, and I really really like that took place in that space. And boy, do I feel sorry for Crow. And as if it wasn't bad enough, like Spider has turned him into a total lackey and slave and kind of treats him shitty, like he totally does. But he's also like, hey, I could have sent him to the tower, basically to his murder because of who he used to be, right? So, interesting dynamic going on there. Uh, and some spoilers coming up for those immolation lore pieces that were released right before the start of Season of the Hunt. So spoilers if you haven't read those, although I think that the news is out. But rest in peace, Sagira. I was not mentally prepared for what happened in that lore. I mean, it was bad enough what looked like was going to happen to Osiris, and then Sagira went and paid the ultimate price. Sagira is gone. She is dead. And Osiris is ghostless. And I'm super upset because I love Sagira. Like straight up, I'm rocking my Sagira shell right now. In memory, pour one out for Sagira. And of course, with Season of the Hunt in full swing, we have the Wrathborn Hunt activity introduced. I like the idea of these. I like the way they play out. And I'm going to be honest with you, I like that they're kind of short. I feel like the tier 2s are going to be tough, even though they're short. But as much as I liked Nightmare Hunts, and they're appropriate because of the way they launch and everything, I dig the short and sweet of the Wrathborn. And at least tier 1s, I'm crushing the ones that I've done so far. I've done 2 Fallen ones and 1 of the Hive ones, and I've been able to crush them solo. I'm looking forward to doing tier 2s with my friends when I get to it. Gonna need those to finish the seasonal title, and so far, by the way, it's looking good. My chances of getting yet another seasonal medal for my collection are looking great. It's not like Season of the Dawn where I looked at what they wanted you to do for the sundial and went, yeah, never mind, not doing it. So, all looking good. One thing about the Wrathborn hunts, though, the first time I did it was super unclear how to track your Wrathborn target. I don't know if anybody else had that problem, but I did not know what to do. Like I did the thing where I killed the servitor once and like he disappeared and I didn't know what to do. And so I was like looking around and trying to figure it out. I clicked on the thing and I looked around. I couldn't figure it out. Somebody else came and started the Wrathborn hunt. So I did it again and I clicked the thing again. I couldn't figure it out. Had to go to Google. And it just, I understand now, if you're confused about this, by the way, anyone, that there's like when you get the enemy's health down after you place the spike the first time, right? You get the enemy's health down, he disappears, and then there's that thing to click on that's like glowing green mist. And after you click on it, there's like a trail of green mist on the ground that takes you where you need to go. But like none of the instructions said like look for its trail. It just said track it. Like it doesn't say anything. There's nothing on the map. There's nothing. Right? And it was hard for me to see the green mist because I didn't know I was supposed to be looking for something at all, right? And I'm just gonna say, Bungie, please, 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 please. The first time doing something like that, you must make the directions clearer. Because like I'm not stupid, and 2 different times I couldn't tell that that's what I was supposed to do. I couldn't see it. So try to put something in the tutorial instructions that let us know a little more. Like you don't have to tell us follow the green mist to the thing to launch the mission, but you've got to do something to show us what it is, to actually draw our eyes to it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what that looks like. I don't have enough of a solution for you for that, but it's got to be clearer than what it was, because that's not the first time something like that has happened. It's super unfun. New weapons that I'm liking so far. I got a nice little short list of things that I'm playing with that I'm really liking. Of course, at the tippy top of the list is the No Time to Explain exotic pulse rifle, which that was a pre-order bonus award You get it at the end of the Beyond Light campaign if you did, in fact, purchase that pre order bundle. And oh boy, is it cool because the Rewind Again perk this time, basically, you're shooting bullets from another timeline at enemies. And what it really is like you get enough hits. I don't even think it's kills. You get enough hits on enemies, and a little turret spawns that also shoots them. And when you finish the catalyst, that little turret shoots fairly frequently. And let me tell you, that's pulled my tail feathers out of the fire a few times. So not only is it a dope pulse rifle that handles really well, not only does it have sick lore behind it because of the Stranger and all these different things and Clovis Bray, but that little turret from that perk is really awesome and really helpful. And not only that, the damn thing is deadly friggin' accurate. So go finish Beyond Light. Get your No Time to Explain if you can. Finish the catalyst for that puppy. It's totally worth it. And enjoy yourselves because it's amazing. And like I was telling my friends yesterday, I'm so excited that is exotic. I can keep using it. That one does not have a shelf life. I will get to keep enjoying it. And it's a great pulse rifle, and I'm real happy about it. So that's cool. And at least during the Falling Guillotine era, I'm cool with having an exotic in that kinetic slot because my power weapon's my sword. So it's all good. And there's other good power weapons too, by the way. So it's all good. Next one I'm really loving is Adored. I got the quest done for that sniper. I love snipers. Let me tell you something. This one is filthy, dirty, crispy, and I love it. And I love that you can set it up either for like, multiple crit shot, Vorpal against bosses, which it does pretty well. Or, equally you can set it up for PvP with, snapshot and that kind of stuff. And I really like that sniper. I think probably my long shadow that I had and my supremacy and my Izanagi are maybe stronger PvE snipers, but those are all kinetic, right? All those ones I named are kinetic. In the energy slot, I got two snipers that I'm really, really, really loving. Adored, and before that, the Ikelos that I grinded hard for last season. I think probably on the boss DPS, just shooting, 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 unloading the magazine. My fourth time's the charm high impact reserve Ikelos is the best. That one's probably the very best one. So good that I will never actually get rid of it. I will keep that one. I like the Ikelos ones anyway. But Adored is super good. Like I said, filthy, dirty, crispy. Love it. Love the handling, love the scope, love it all. And boy, you can peg shots with that thing. I'm excited to take it into the Crucible here this season, like when Iron Banner comes up and stuff like that. Um, Definitely worth getting. It is a good replacement for the sadly Sunset Beloved. So if you loved your beloved, go get Adored. Um, I know the meme is that it's beloved in a scarf, but it's not the same. It's got a different scope. The combination that you have is different. So I would give it a chance. Give it a try. I really like it, and I love that it's one gun to take care of both sides of the sandbox. For sure. And it's not hard to get the thing. You finish a quest, and you're guaranteed that combination of perks that you can use, which is great in this era of Sunset to just go get something and have it be ready to go. What else? The Royal Chase Scout Rifle from the reward track. That one surprised me. Uh, you Halo fans out there know the DMR. It reminds me of a DMR, only I would argue that the DMR is better. Right? DMR is better. So check that one out. Mine rolled with Dragonfly on it. I got auto loading holster Dragonfly. I've gotten a couple other ones. But I like my auto load Dragonfly. I haven't found another one yet that makes me want to put that one down. So there you go with that. Um, the Duality Exotic Shotgun. I really need to work on the catalyst for it, but oh boy, I had been wanting to try it, like not in like regular PVE. I wanted to take it in somewhere a little more intense. So I played Gambit with one of my friends the other night, and oh man, I love Duality in Gambit. The alternating between the pellet spread and the slug shot. Oh, it's so great. There's a feel to it that when you get it, Duality is great. So I definitely want to try to finish the catalyst on that at some point because I think it could be really great. Um, Another shotgun I'm loving is the Xenoclast 4. This is another great lightweight frame shotty, like the Seventh Seraph shotgun. And there's some other ones too. But I really like lightweight frame shotguns, and this is another really cool, snappy one. And it, for me, it rolled with the one I'm really liking right now is Grave Robber and 1-2 Punch with Tactical Mag, I think it was. So, I mean, that's perfect right there, right? Grave Robber 1-2 Punch. It's kind of magic and it's different than my other favorite shotguns, which are the Ikelos shotgun, the version 2, and the Seven Seraph shotgun. Got some great shotties, and it can also roll with Trench Barrel, by the way. I haven't looked at the full perk pool because I'm just kind of playing and being cool and not worrying about stuff too much. Because, as I said, the sunsetting is a factor in some of these things. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But if this thing can roll with Trench Barrel, I'm curious what else is in that other column. We know Grave Robber's in there. And there's probably some other cool things. So if you're looking for yet another Trench Barrel shotgun, I still like Trench Barrel. I know some people don't. I do. Xenoclast 4 does roll with it. So check that one out. The Corsair's Wrath Linear Fusion Rifle. I picked that one up yesterday from a Wrathborn hunt. And oh, that's another one that's crispy, filthy, dirty. Telling you right now, I don't usually care about linear fusions. I mainly was using it because I noticed that one of the triumphs for the season, for the title, requires using all of the different weapons. And that one was in there, and I thought, well, okay, I'm going to use it. And I really liked it. And I don't even know that I have a particularly good roll. Just I like the way it sounds, and I really like the way it feels. One of my all-time favorite linear fusion rifles was an old Crooked Fang that I still have, and this one beats that all to heck. So if you like linear fusions, I would definitely make sure you try out Corsair's Wrath. And then last but not least on this weapon list, I got a hold of the Coriolis Force fusion rifle after watching a video. And I have to be totally honest, I didn't care about the fact that it like picked up a crap ton of ammo. It was like it was broken. What interested me was the conversation about how it's unique in its firing pattern. So, as you guys know, you use a fusion rifle and typically it climbs, right? And so this one instead has like a horizontal fan, right? And it's really cool for PvE. And I was lucky because on my first try, I got it with that new One for All perk, and it's what hitting 3 different enemies increases damage for a short time. And it's not kills, it's hitting them, right? So that's something to think about. Hitting 3 separate enemies increases your damage for a short time. So you get kind of this rampage-like effect, but without actually having to execute the kill, which I found interesting. And then that fan firing pattern is really good for PvE. Um, the other thing about it though is like even if it had the old firing pattern, I feel like it has a really unique feel. Like it feels really steady. I don't know that I've ever had a fusion rifle feel like that when it's just like really solid. So if you like fusions, I think you should pick it up because there's no other one like it. And then I think if you're trying to find a fusion that you really like, it's also a good choice because of what I said about it feeling so like planted and nice to use. And I wanted to touch on too. I have a Hollow Words fusion rifle from last season, and if you have that one, I would definitely give that one a chance too. That is really a great fusion rifle. So that's two right there. One of them from last season, Hollow Words, and then one from this season, the Coriolis Force. Definitely pick up all these weapons on this list that I mentioned because they're really cool. Um, so I started to talk about sunsetting, and I caught myself because I wanted to hold it for this actual segment. Sunsetting for me at this point basically means that I'm not caring nearly as much about chasing god rolls or specific rolls anymore. Uh, Doing all of that work, knowing that it's going to be useless in 90% of the game in like 9 months, just ain't it for me. Now, this comes with the preface that, in spite of all of that, I am really enjoying the game, and it's not hurting my enjoyment of the game in the way that I thought it would. I think before we got the news today about the strikes playlist difficulty being adjusted, that I was a lot more turned off. But really, it's fine. I've made my peace with sunsetting, and I do kind of partly agree with Bungie in that for the health of the game, we have to do something. We'll see how it plays out over time, though. To be honest, we'll see. But I just am not inclined to invest so much energy in chasing things anymore, when I could very well spend the 3 months of a season chasing something, finally get the one I want, and only have it for 6 months and then it's gone. Um, and that is both disappointing and liberating at the same time, because I think I can free up some mental energy. I think that I can focus on some different parts of the game now, different aspects of the game. And it's like, if there's a weapon that I, just get a random one of that I just like it, I intrinsically like the weapon, regardless of what's on it, and I get a super good roll, maybe I keep that one then to go play within strikes for years to come. But otherwise, it's like I can get stuff. If I've got a decent roll and I'm comfortable with it, great. If a better one drops, great. But it's just like I can let go a little bit. And at first it was unsettling, but now it's kind of great. But I feel like at Bungie, you have to be a little concerned when a player who likes to chase rolls, which I did, sits there and says, "You know what? I'm not going to try as hard anymore. I don't know if I'm going to go do this thing that you're putting down for me to chase with or to chase in, because I just don't see the point in taking the time anymore." I do think you got to be just a little bit worried about the exact effect of that, but I'm not necessarily saying that they're wrong either. I'm just calling that out. I'm having a wonderful, wonderful time with the game. And in spite of like all this change that came down at once, and it made me really uncomfortable, and I got kind of upset a couple different days, in spite of all that stuff, I'm having the best time. I've evened out. I've figured things out. I've rebuilt my builds better than they were before. I'm finding new weapons that I really like, even though there isn't a ton of them. I'm okay about that, really. I don't know what it says about the health of the game for some people, but I'm cool right now, to be honest. And yeah, I'm having a good time. So overall, cheers and kudos, because I think we're doing well, and I really appreciate some of the responses already to the criticisms and the feedback that we've had. I think we're going in a great direction, to tell you the truth. So that's good. Moving on, the loot cave. There is a new loot cave, friends. It's in the Divide, in the Cosmodrome. You can go and look up multiple sources that have information on exactly how to find it. But basically, it's in there intentionally as a nod to the original loot cave stuff. And if you don't feel like doing a lost sector farm to help you level up, if it's more your bag to go and spawn camp a random enemy door somewhere, There is a loot cave in the Divide in the Cosmodrome that has forever spawning enemies, including, I believe, a yellow bar. And you can farm your engrams that way and just sit in that spot. So that's cool. Um, what else have we got? Into the last couple things. Oh, this was another great piece of news. This was the other thing that really got me wound up, besides the good news about strikes. The whole thing going on with Necrotic Grip and Thorn, which, if you haven't heard about that, it's that kills with Thorn proc the poison effect of Necrotic Grip. And a lot of people said it was a glitch and, look out because it's going to get nerfed. And then Bungie shows up real quietly and says, by the way, the interaction between Necrotic Grip and Thorn is intended. That's right, folks. It is not a bug, it is a feature. And I mean, look, I love this synergy. The community has been so happy about this synergy between an exotic armor piece and an exotic weapon. And I want to see more of this. I think this is a great idea. Now, I just need to get myself into that lost sector and try to get that infernal necrotic grip to drop, because that's the only way you can get it. I think all of the new exotics this season are pursuit rewards from the legendary lost sectors. So you have to complete the legendary lost sector solo. The lower difficulty level is a rare chance for the exotic. The higher difficulty, I don't know if it's guaranteed, but it's much higher. I'll put it to you that way. But the difficulty is also quite high, so it's something to think about. Let's see. We don't need to talk about that because we know that Exodus Crash has already been re-enabled. I'm disappointed. This week I received a nice big old box from Bungie Rewards, and it was my Guardian Games reward box. And I have to tell you guys, it's really cool. The scarf that's in there is like one of those soccer scarves that you see like over in Europe. And, in the pictures you saw that it had sort of the Guardian Games iconography on it and like the warlock symbols and all that stuff. But what you don't know is that if you turn it over, it says like warlock in really big letters and has even more like symbols and iconography all over it. It's really cool. I actually wish I could show you a picture right now because it's really awesome. And the Guardian Games metal pin is really awesome and went straight into my pin trophy case where I keep all my seasonal medals, all of my title stuff, and it looks really nice. So that was super fun. I can't wait to wear that scarf this winter. Not that I'll be going out and going anywhere, but hey, maybe next winter, huh? Maybe then I'll have somewhere to go. And last but not least, I wanted to give a shout out to everyone who has been enjoying my video of the A Guardian Rises campaign. I don't know what happened, but it's super popular and it still has a lot of momentum. I think we're up over 1,500 views on that A Guardian Rises campaign video. So thank you so much, everybody, for your support, for the views, for the likes, for your comments, everything. It's just been really, really awesome. And I want you all to know that I really appreciate you. And thank you for blowing that video up. I mean, I made it so people could see what was up with that campaign. And folks have really been enjoying it. And I think that's super awesome. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, that's going to do it for Tower Talk, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed it. We're going to take a brief intermission, and then I think I'm going to be super crazy and try to do one of those lost sectors and totally get my cheeks clapped. So sit tight, everybody. Quick intermission, have a stretch, get a snack, and I will be right back.